Welcome back. I am Pazzi, here to create my next original character for Baldur's Gate 3. I have, maybe absurdly, decided to start 4 new playthroughs, and this is number 2 in the new lineup. If you want to see the others, I'll make sure to link their character creation videos in the description, along with the characters' mod list too. So let's jump on in. When I was creating Vakrel, my previous character, I had said that I was going to try to challenge myself to create a Tav whose backstory is not fraught with trauma. So here we go. Lupita Elderglow is her name. She hails from a circle of powerful druids and natural lycanthropes. Her parents are the leaders of her community, and while her siblings all followed in their footsteps, Lupita, the youngest, when she came of age, decided to join the Church of Selûne to become a cleric instead, which is a different path, but definitely not an unwelcome one. Of course, werewolves like Selûne, the goddess of the moon and stars, and Selûne often recruits good aligned were-beings for her clergy, so yeah, believe it or not, she still has a great relationship with her family, and they are proud of her choice. Crazy. So she was visiting Baldur's Gate on her cleric pilgrimage duties when she was captured by the invading Illithids. So personality-wise, she'll be cool and confident with some wry wit in there, just big that girl kind of energy. And so I was having, with all of that in mind, having trouble deciding if she would be a wood elf or a high elf. You know, community of werewolf druids says wood elf to me, but then there's that whole family status thing. I was going to say that they are the alphas of their pack, but fun fact, wolf packs don't actually have alphas. That's not actually a thing. So that's just all to say that her family has power in the community. They're high up on the social hierarchy. So that kind of said high elf to me. But then I came across this mod that adds new elven subraces, and one of them is just perfect and means that we aren't going to have to choose between the two. We can actually kind of pick them both. So it's in here. Moon elf would also be good, but where is it? Here we go. Lythari. True lycanthropic elves gifted with the ability to shift their forms into that of wolves. Rare in Faerûn, Lythari prefer the company of their own deeply intertwined packs. Despite their lycanthropic nature, they are often averse to violence and primarily rely on their lupine form for scouting, delivering messages, or hunting. Like, isn't that just so perfect we came across that? So we're already going to have a lupine wild shape. We get proficiency in nature and survival. Just all going to be fun to play around with, I think. So first we get to pick her wolf form, and we can choose between Swift, which is smaller, sleeker. Here it says more suited for utility, so I assume that like exploration rather than combat, and she'd start off with 4 hit points in this wolf shape, or Robust, which is better suited for combat and starts with 12 hit points. So we're gonna go with Robust. And I've been reading up on the Cleric Druid multiclass, and the benefit seems to be that both clerics and druids spellcast off of Wisdom, but the downside is that you can't cast spells while in wild shape. And while I'm not really concerned about min-maxing, since I mostly multiclass for role-playing purposes anyways, but I do believe that transforming doesn't break concentration, so we might be able to spellcast, then enter wolf form. I don't know. We'll see once we get into it. But now we're picking the tags the game will associate with her, and Lycanthrope is in here, but I'm not sure if that's just for role-playing purposes or if there is some hidden lycanthrope dialogue. So I'm just going to play it safe, and I'm going to pick both High Elf and Wood Elf for PETA. That way I don't have to choose between the two. Best of both worlds. So now we're on... Oh wait, what's this passives? Never mind, went away. Now we're on to class. So I'll start her as a cleric, and even though the light domain probably makes the most sense for a Selûnite, I already had a light cleric with Glory who followed Lathander, so I really don't want to do that again. And also at the time that I was doing Glory's run, I had mentioned how I like the war domain, but then I recently looked at the description and realized that that's not the best fit for PETA either. One, because she joined the church to honor her god and help people. She's not like a Silver Star warrior priest, so war domain may not be right there. Plus 2, she's just not very judgmental as a person. If she meets people of different faiths, specifically worshippers who follow a god that opposes or is at war with her own, hint, hint, she's just going to, of course, be upset at first, but then she's going to try to listen and understand and approach people with a neutral, grounded kind of energy. She doesn't have a big temper. In fact, she might be infuriatingly level-headed in certain situations. So long story short, that's why I decided to just keep it simple and have her go with the classic life domain instead, which fits a lot better than the whole releasing savagery on the unrighteous thing that's mentioned here with the war domain. And which I also just kind of feel like is more of a paladin thing anyways, personally. When I think cleric, I think healer, so life domain it is. Tasked with the holy edict of preserving the body, mind, and soul, your god grants you a plethora of healing magics, and that god is Selûne, the Lady of Silver, who presides over the moon, stars, and navigation. Her power over the heavens is constantly challenged by her sister Shar, who seeks to plunge the world into eternal shadow. And for spells, I am always going to forget to use Sanctuary, so I'll switch that out with maybe Command. She will be commanding, not bossy, but authoritative, so that'd work. And speaking of, for her background, at first I was thinking Outlander, which I think is a pretty natural go-to for anyone who was raised or who lives in the wilds. But I'm actually going to lean more towards that powerful family dynamic aspect of her backstory and go with Noble. She's not snobby, but she definitely grew up in a community that respected her elevated status. So I think it'll be a new take on the whole noble background that still recognizes her appreciation for renown and loyalty and things like that. And for ability points, her wolf form has separate stats, but I don't want her to have to rely on that for combat, so I'll keep everything where it is. I hate seeing an intelligence score that's so low, but I know she doesn't need it. So yeah, and I know this is going to seem strange, but I'm also going to get rid of her religion proficiency because I'm using a mod to always succeed religion checks for clerics, which is technically cheating, yes, but it is also so embarrassing for a cleric to not recognize their own holy symbol, and I just can't abide that if I happen to roll poorly, so I'll move it to medicine and insight. Which leaves us with appearance, and starting with the voice, I'm going to use the same voice I chose for Nyx because it's just so confident sounding.
What was that? Hells. Something just woke up down here.
Which is literally the only thing those characters have in common. But I also considered using body type 3 for this one, but then I couldn't use the face I want to use, so we'll save the strong body for my half-orc character coming up and leave her on 1 so that I can use this Talia face preset, which I mentioned with my previous character that I'm using all Cetastarian, I think that's how you pronounce it, all Jules head presets for these new characters, and this is the one I mentioned asking about last year. Just so beautiful. And there are some skin tones in this modded palette called Lycanthrope, so I feel like we gotta use these. Though they are a little gray, so we'll see how it looks with makeup and tattoos, and maybe come back to it. I just really don't want her to look drow, for no other reason than I already played a drow character, so want to vary it up a bit. And for eye color, I actually think I'll go with gray to fit that whole Lady of Silver vibe. So it'll come down to a modded color. It's pretty good. Ooh. That's interesting with the kind of two-toned dark outer ring. And I think that'll look good with the tattoo that I want to use for her, which is very goth and dark and covers the top half of her face. Somewhere. This one. Oh, you kind of can't see. There's like a sideways crescent moon there. Maybe we'll jump down to her hair to get that situated. Gonna go with black hair. which is all the way down here at the bottom. And I have a panoply of hairstyles to choose from. Lots of really good locks styles in here. I like that. Oh, I forgot. There was like an undercut braid style that I saw the last time with Vakrel that I said I was going to start Lupita out with. But I change hair a lot, so we're going to see a lot of variation. And I also tried to get it so that the gold accessories were silver, but I realized just because she's a Selûnite doesn't mean she has to wear silver. It's not like it's in the handbook or anything. Also, I couldn't figure out how to do it, so we might have some gold accessories in here too. Oh, that wasn't the one I was looking for, but I do like it. That's the one. I'm just such a sucker for an undercut. And I always try to go with, to start with something that's a little messier because, you know, all of these tabs are escaping the nautiloid. They're probably not looking totally put together with every hair in place. But I think Lupita's not going to be able to help it. She's just going to look kind of flawless no matter what. And now we've got piercings. There are some Selûne symbols in here, but I might also save them for the Dream Guardian, which, surprise, is going to look like Selûne herself. I just think that makes sense for a cleric. If the Guardian is supposed to look like someone they should trust, then what person could they trust more than their deity? I did the same for Glory and Lathander, though Selûne does take on many forms, so it really could be anybody, but the earrings are going to be a dead giveaway, because we know gods like to wear their own merch. Mistra. But there are a lot of Selûne earrings in here. All on the mod list, of course. There were some in here that of the tintable variety that we might try out. And since I went pretty heavy with the tattoo, I'm not going to give her any facial piercings. And I'll come down here and make them silver, which you could do by selecting white. And then we can also pick the color of the gems in there by going down to horn tip color. Maybe we'll go with the blue in there. Okay, it's barely blue, but I like it. Twilight blue. And now that I'm seeing it all together, I think I do want to change her skin tone. Something a bit warmer. That's green. That's red. Oh. Okay, I think I like that. Warm tone, 10 or 11. We'll go with 10. That's just a base game color, it's not modded. And I'll leave the intensity up on those. There was an eye makeup style in here that I just knew I had to use. I'm not sure how well we'll be able to see it in there, but yeah, stars. Selûne is not just the goddess of the moon, also the stars, also navigation, change, a lot of things. But yeah, and then we'll turn the metallic up so it's nice and shiny. And the glossiness. Is it giving kind of goth werewolf princess? I think so. I think we're on our way. And I don't really think she needs a lip tint. I'll just turn up the glossiness a little bit. And we already did the hair, so I believe that's everything. Yep. I think we're good to go. And so her name is Lupita, which means little wolf. Now we're off to our guardian.
You need a guardian. Choose one.
Since Selûne takes on many forms, the guardian could really be any race, but I'm gonna go with half-elf since Lupita will have a thing for half-elves. Wink wink. And we even have a face here called Selûne, which looks exactly like the illustration on the Forgotten Realms wiki, like uncannily the same, which is just so cool. I'm thinking moon tone. That's intriguing. But I'm gonna use the image as a reference, so she really just looks kind of like a neutral skin tone. Maybe we'll go with a pallid or a cool tone. Cool tone 3, looks good. And for eye color, I am already using the color Selûne. I have a mythology-based eye color set in here. I'm already using that color on my previous character, Vakrel, but she's Githyanki, and so it looks a little different on her eye, so I think I could use it twice, and I just feel like I have to pair up the moon goddesses. Just makes sense, so we'll go with Selûne. And I don't think I'll give her any tattoo. Yeah. Nah. But like I said before, we'll definitely do our own symbols as earrings. Which I kind of can't see, so might have to come down to hair next. Got an entire set of Selûnite hair here. So just have to find a style I'm definitely not going to use with Lupita. Probably this straight look. Oh, but this circlet glows. Definitely gotta use this one. That's neat. And we can tint the band to silver just like we do with the tintable earrings. Probably gotta go with smaller earrings too, so it doesn't clip through the hair. Or the hair clip through them, I guess, but yeah, we know how I feel about clipping. Not my favorite thing. And for eye makeup, kind of want to go with this angel wing look. Selûne does have an Asmar child, so let's see what that looks like with some metallic kind of colors here. So many gray colors to choose from. I'm not gonna let this trip me up. We'll find one that we like. And then we'll move on to hair. In the image that I'm looking at for inspiration, Selûne has white hair with dark eyebrows. So we'll go with that. And I have to remember to change the metal on the circlet and then maybe a little lip color. But we're almost there. I like that. Let's go with Grey Worm 4. I believe there's a hair color in here called silver, so I'll look for that. And since we're about to come to a close on this character creation, I'll end with just a little housekeeping. I do have 2 more original characters to create before I start putting out gameplay episodes, so be on the lookout for those. And there's a really amazing little movie that plays after this, but I have been showing it a lot. So if you want to see that, you'll have to watch Vakrel's character creation video, or Nyx's or Glory's, but I figure 3 times is it. So that means we're about done. I hope you enjoyed Lupita's backstory, and thanks for coming along to make her with me. And I'll see you soon with my next character.